229. A dude took his pants off because he got too hot down there.
Good.
And then bloody Ferguson Pedersen. I mean, this was a night even before Khabib turned it into the malice at the palace. So now we'll get to the insanity and what happens next, and whether it gets the malice at the palace treatment, and whether any of you will make the bold argument this isn't all bad for UFC, maybe even it's good for UFC. Oh yeah, that's Khabib now. Name-dropping Putin afterwards. Sarah Spain, go.
Yeah, I would guess we could ask Dana White if we polygraphed him if this was good for his sport. And you can look at the fact that he used Conor McGregor's bus attack as a promotion for this fight. This is the sport. Fighting before, fighting during, and fighting after. And Dana White can act outraged all he wants, but all he does is act reactive. He waits for the initial outrage to die down. He realizes everyone's talking about his sport, and then he doesn't make any meaningful punishment to McGregor, probably won't to Khabib, and we go in a circle. This is the sport. Just own it.
Gutierrez?
I disagree with a third of what you said. Fighting before, yes. Fighting during, yes. Fighting after, no. The actual fight is the resolution in this deal. Everything else that you talk about beforehand is the build-up. And you could argue whatever you want, even though Conor was arrested for what he did, just like Khabib's could have been if they would have pressed charges. The chokeout is the resolution, not only in martial arts, just in general. If you want to build up for a rematch, you do so afterward. You don't create chaos in the middle, outside the ring with all those fans out there.
So then, Dana White has to do something about Khabib here. What can he do, Israel?
Well, I don't know if he's going to strip the title from him because it would seem a bit overreactive given that Conor didn't get any significant penalty for his, but he can do something to Khabib. I'm just not sure what yet.
So you don't believe stripping the title
I don't think so. I think that's a little bit.
Sola, how about you?
I am both shocked and appalled that this type of violence would break out at an event like this. Come on, this is great for the sport, even if you don't like it, because what is real and what is staged? The almost fighting at the weigh-in, fighting after the match. This all leads to one thing, a rematch, which is exactly what they want. More money.
Jackie McMullen.
Okay, that may be true, that this was staged, but if it was so, it's a really dumb idea. The governor of Nevada, Tony, was at this fight, and I'm going to guess he knew a few people and was sitting ringside. Suppose, just in argument's sake, Khabib goes over, starts swinging, and breaks the jaw of the governor of Nevada. Then what is Dana White going to do? Then what's everybody else going to say about this so-called
he reportedly
sport?
ran out of the room as quick as he could. The idea,
well, wouldn't you?
on the record, you're saying this is staged. Khabib going over the cage is staged?
I'm saying...
No. I said you don't know whether or not it's staged. It's all part of the show.
And Jackie?
Well, I'm saying if it was staged, it ran amok, and it could have gone very, very bad. And I love that word. I know you do too. Give me some points. Come on, you know you like it. Come on, Tony. You know you like that word.
Jackie, you got to move on it. We're back into the NFL now. Buy or sell two. The potential season-changing wins for Minnesota and Pittsburgh. Vikings over Eagles. Steelers over Atlanta. Philadelphia and Atlanta. Let's talk about them. Last two NFC teams in the Super Bowl, 2-3 and 1-4 right now. For the champs, Zach Ertz has concern. Carson Wentz has no concern. Jay Ajayi questioning the play calling. Where are you with the Eagles?
I'm not that concerned. I'm more with Carson Wentz here, just because he just got back, just because they still have to get into a rhythm. And they do have a great offensive line. They do have some good running backs there, but they are built around Carson Wentz and that run-pass option. They really have to get him going first.
Isola?
Atlanta's in a load of trouble. The Eagles are not in a great division. On Thursday night, they play the Giants. That'll be a big game for both teams. Going to take a while for Wentz to get back into a rhythm. I'll tell you what, though, Zach Ertz, his wife Julie Ertz, they're cruising in World Cup qualifying for the women. Cruising.
Jackie McMullen?
Izzy, you're laying on last year's stats. The offensive line has been terrible. Wentz has been sacked 12 times since he came back. All his receivers are dropping passes. Wentz isn't concerned because it's got nothing to do with him. It's got to do with everybody around him. The Eagles are in trouble.
So you think they've run amok, you might say. How about you, Sarah Spain?
I might.
Yeah, all is not lost yet because of that weak division, but I do have to say I am concerned, and here's why. Only one of the 7 Super Bowl champion teams that started 2-3 went on to make the playoffs. This is a team that hasn't been able to muster up the points of last season. As Jackie said, the offensive line hasn't been able to protect Wentz like last season. We're just using last year to make us feel better. We look at what's going on now, we should be concerned.
Buy or sell 3 rookie QBs. They don't have last year to look to. It's just this year right now. They were 4-0 this Sunday. including Baker with the Browns win over Baltimore. This was some next-level Browning, by the way. They missed kicks all game. It went to overtime. They were 2 seconds from another tie. The game winner went about 10 feet, 6 inches off the ground. And then Hugh Jackson said, let's go for 2. Or maybe he said there's 2 seconds left. Or maybe he was making a move for world peace. Either way, the game was already over. Frank, how do you view the Browns today and then the rookie QB?
Yeah, they're not used to winning. They don't know the rules of overtime. You know, there was a second and about 21 from inside the 10 in overtime. Baker Mayfield scrambled. He pulled an old Roger Staubach where you pump fake even after you pass the line of scrimmage, get the defender to freeze. He drove them down the field for a field goal. They won again. He's been terrific. I'm all in on the Browns.
Israel and Sarah and I will take your word for it on the old Roger Staubach. How about you, Jackie McMullen?
I used to play 3-on-3 with Roger Staubach during the NBA All-Star game, so that should be worth something. But I'm going to tell you also that Baker Mayfield is the real deal, and you're going to be talking about him for years ago. He's the best quarterback in this draft. What he's doing with this team that doesn't even know up from down is nothing short of sensational.
Dane, how about you?
Listen, I'm very excited that the Browns are winning games at all, but I think we need to slow our roll a bit. They're still tied for last in the AFC North. They've had 3 overtime games, only one of which they've won, and Hugh Jackson doesn't even know if the game's over yet, so that's about par with what we've expected.
Gutierrez.
So let's call deuces on the over.
He was telling you they got 2 wins, Sarah, and they really should have 4. They could be a 4-1 team. They stay close. They're one of those teams that'll be, if they get 10, 11 wins, I would not be shocked one bit. They have the talent.
All right.
AFC win in 18. They hadn't won an AFC game in 3 years. AFC North game.
They haven't won a game on a Sunday in years. Spain, Isola, good for the points per game, not so good for the showdown. Gutierrez and McMullen, who's going to give us some tips on how to beat Staubach in basketball on the other side.